Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here. We're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is for the week of June 16th, 2022. It's been a second for me, but back in the saddle. The current character challenge is Blackest Night Martian Manhunter. That's a 1 week repeat, and the required characters of that are Cyborg, Sinestro, and Lex Luthor, who you can all get as low as bronze directly in the store.
Right.
So that's pretty great for new players. It means that it's almost impossible for you to have the stats to complete the challenge, but not have the resources to just buy these characters.
Yeah, and this is the most important thing to me.
Already have them.
Yeah, I love when the challenge is an entry point for newer players, because it's a great way to progress quickly.
And I think that's what it serves best as. Yeah. And so his passives are Shifter, which is John...
J apostrophe on.
Yeah, cycles through different offensive buffs. Life Drain, and then in brackets, health siphoned goes to his entire team. Increased power generation, and increased defense. He's got 1,000 attack, 1,300 health. He was last available on the 19th of August, 2021.
Right. He's got good upper middle class stats, and they are the same total base stats as last week's Arkham Knight Catwoman, but the attack and health are reversed. So we actually like Arkham Knight Catwoman better for having more of her base stats in her attack, but there's overall it's still pretty good. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why I never noticed this before, but the order that they say his passive goes through, it actually starts on defense, even though that's what they name last. Mm-hmm. But instead of lasting the full length of time, it lasts about half the time, and the defense, he only takes half damage. That's blue. Actually, it's even less than half the time, because it's maybe like 3-4 seconds at the most.
Yeah.
And each time after that, it's going to be 14 seconds, so much longer. Mm-hmm. Then he goes through Power Drain, which is yellow, which is 14 seconds. And then Life Drain, which is the shortest, is only 6 seconds. No, it's not Power Drain. Sorry, it's Power Generation Increase.
Yeah.
Right. And I just want to mention again, I mean, tooting our own horn, there used to be a really fun glitch where you needed very specific conditions, and you'd need the full X-Square gear set to get the second ability, which is second sort of gear set ability, which is damage over time.
Yeah.
Martian Manhunter was in the life drain part of his cycle, and the enemy was down to no health to give because damage over time can't kill, and then he would give ridiculous amounts of health.
Like nearly instantly, like full heal to everything.
Right. And it would be at a level where I think if you did it enough and somebody noticed, they would report you and you would get your account banned for cheating, because it was just it didn't seem possible to generate those kind of numbers for healing, or even just taking the kind of damage that you'd be able to take, because you would just sit there and it would just be 14 seconds of super heal.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else do we have to say about him?
No, it wouldn't be 14. It's only 6 seconds, isn't it?
Oh, right. 6 seconds. Right. You're right. Yeah, I mean, the
numbers are getting a little confusing. That's okay.
Yeah. So, I guess the issue is, where does he fit in? Because Blackest Night teams are pretty good defensive teams. And I think, without a doubt, in my mind, you need to have Blackest Night. For the strongest Blackest Night teams, you have to have Blackest Night Flash. And you need to have Blackest Night Hawkgirl, because what it means is that you have a second Flash. Right? It's basically almost the ability to have a second Flash on your team.
Yeah.
And so, who's the third? Is Martian Manhunter the third? He's useful because of all his passives, but because they cycle through so much, again, it makes it very hard to work with it and sort of leverage it as a specific teammate and ability. Mm-hmm. I like Batman's unblockable chance for teammates better than this, so he would be my first. Technically, I mean, he'd be my third choice, right? Flash, Hawkgirl, and so he'd be my. And this was an interesting discussion compared to, I think a few weeks ago we had Blackest Night Superman, and it's the same sort of thing. Blackest Night Superman is not third. He'd probably be fourth, I think. Yeah.
So it's not that they're not good. It's just that they're not as good
as Batman, as Flash, Hawkgirl, and Batman. Yeah.
Especially on like a Blackest Night team, on a specific team. Yeah.
Right.
So we've been through 2 complete runs of the challenge cycle. It's 43 weeks long. It first appeared in May of 2020, and we are 22 weeks into the third cycle. So we're 108 weeks of unbroken challenge rewards.
Right.
And if the pattern holds, which, again, 108 weeks in, it's very likely that it will, right? The next week should be Arkham Origins Joker. And just as a reminder, this 43-week cycle is omitting, it's missing 23 challenge characters.
Right, so there are 23 characters that have, it's been more than 2 years since they've appeared in the challenge.
Yeah, which is a little unfortunate.
Right.
This week's multiplayer reward is Blackest Night Flash, and his passive is Black Flash, which is when resurrected, Blackest Night Flash returns with 100% health. Basic attacks against the Flash have a 10% chance to miss and leave the attacker open to counterattack. And instead of taking damage, all Blackest Night teammates gain health and power from enemy damage over time. He's got 1,500 attack, 1,300 health, last available on the 11th of November 2021. So in this case, we've had 2 complete cycles of a 31 reward sequence, and we are 14 weeks into the 3rd cycle, which is 76 weeks in a row of consistent pattern. Next week should be Iva Stick.
Okay, so this was not in my notes, and again, it just occurs to me as you're reading this. 31 reward sequence, that's a prime number. 43 reward sequence is also a prime number.
Oh.
So the chance of these 2 Blackest Night teammates being the reward the same week is very unlikely to appear again. We are more likely to that Injustice is going to shut down, the server's going to be gone by the time this particular kind of occurrence happens again.
Oh, because they're just going to keep mismatching over and over and over again.
Right, until we hit 43 times 31 weeks.
That's a lot of weeks.
Right, because they're both prime.
Yeah.
Unless they do something to change the schedule.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it just occurs to me. All right, so that's actually kind of neat because we have 2 Blackest Night team members. We just mentioned Flash in that context, but in more detail, you see the difference in numbers, right? So they both have 1,300 health. Martian Manhunter is 1,000 base attack. Flash is 1,500 base attack. That's pretty striking. He's got good basic attacks for the speed, like all Flash skins, and he's got 3 elements to his passive, each of which I think is inarguably a good enough passive on its own for a gold card.
Yeah.
So resurrections are interesting. There's a bunch of different ways you can get resurrections in the game. Fourth World Gear set with 2 pieces, you can get resurrection up to 31% health. Necron Scythe up to 65%, and Blackest Night Hawkgirl, which is normally up to 20% for Blackest Night teammates. So because you're only getting a portion of your health, this passive of getting 100% health is really good. If you just look at the numbers, if you utilize all 3 strategies, right? You give him 2 Fourth World Gears, Necron Scythe, had Blackest Night Hawkgirl as a teammate, his passive would give you an extra 184% of his health pool from his passive.
Yeah. And that's actually even better than just having an extra, 184% from this and then an extra percent from the others, because each resurrect is a chance to absorb whatever these rollover damage is from a big hit.
Right.
So it lets you...
Right, because some, never mind supers, but some characters, their special 1 or special 2, can't knock out except on the last hit.
Yeah.
So it partitions off his health
effectively. Or there's one hit that's massive.
Right.
So no matter how much damage that hit does, it's essentially a little...
It's walled off.
Stopgap, yeah.
Yeah, it's like in boats where they have those parts that, in case it floods. What do you call those?
I don't remember.
You know what I mean? Like it compartmentalizes things. So
or it's like a fire break where there's a certain gap between two bits of trees or 2 bits of greenery. Yeah.
Yeah. The only issue with using up 3 gear slots to resurrect that many times, I mean, you potentially limit his offensive potential because, how long do you need him to live if he isn't doing any damage?
Yeah.
But, an interesting strategy would be to team him up not with a full Blackest Night team, but with New 52 Wonder Woman. She could give him a bunch of power. Mm-hmm. And even if he doesn't have any offensive gears, just having power and being able to do specials is going to be really great.
Yeah.
And so that by itself, totally great as a single ability.
Yeah.
Whiffing on basic attacks is nothing new, but his passive is the first one that gives you a really large window to hit your opponent back when they whiff. It's a low percentage, 10%, makes up for the fact that it's so powerful.
Yeah.
And because if it was higher, I think it would be unbalancing to the game.
Mm-hmm.
And if that were his only passive, that would be enough too.
Yeah.
But then he's got a third thing. And being immune from damage over time, that's pretty good. But he's not just immune. That Flash and Blackest Night teammates gain health from damage over time and gain power, that's right over the top. That by itself would be better than most golds.
Yeah,
passive.
he's just got so many abilities. You
Yeah.
just keep, stacking on new stuff, and then he's doing a million things.
So if you've got time during this week to do online play, this would be a week to try to rank really high to get more copies of them.
Yeah. So there we go. Moving on to the store, we've got the Arkham Origin Joker bundle for $24.99 Canadian. As always, all of these prices are going to be in Canadian. It comes with the credits. It's included next week, but as always, it doesn't unlock in the store. And because you're just about to be able to earn them, it's really not worth it because, you do the challenge once and then it does unlock in the store.
Right.
We also have the Red Sun Pack 2 for $24.99 Canadian. It was the same price in February of 2020. And it was actually more...
2021.
2021, sorry. It was more the time that we saw before that. It was $26.99 when we saw that in...
Wait, December 2021.
December 2021. Yeah, my bad. When we saw it in 2020.
Yeah.
And it comes with 3 out of the 6 Red Suns, but not a specific 3. There's a 16% chance of each of Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Deathstroke, and Green Lantern. And then Solomon Grundy, who's the crappiest one, gives you a 20% chance.
So he gets that extra leftover 4%.
Yeah, which is not that great. We also have the Character Bundle Flash TV, which is around for its second week. The Survivor Pack, which has been around for 23 weeks at this point. The Character Bundle Batman Universe, which has been around for 28 weeks. The Most Wanted Pack, which has been around for 35. There's the 300th Metal Celebration Packs, Joker, Aquaman, and Shazam Celebration Pack, which have all been around for a while now. 21 weeks for everybody, except for Aquaman, who has been around for an extra 2 weeks, to make that a total of 23 weeks.
Should we, when a pack hits the 1 year mark, I think we're going to do a recap again. It's probably worth it, but
Every once in a while, yeah.
Yeah. But definitely in a year. It feels like it's going to be coming up on us. It's already been 6 months for some of them.
Yeah. In our Survivor, we have the LexCorp gear set until the 29th of June, 2022. Phantom Zone has 1 more week left. Fight 62, broken. We have bonus XP through the weekend, which we think is probably for Father's Day.
Which is in North America. And I just recently learned in other places like Australia, they have a Father's Day, but it's in their summer, like it's spring, summer, like in October or November or something, which is interesting.
Yeah. Last weekend's breakthrough was Zod, Aquaman, and Shazam, so this coming weekend should be Catwoman, Deathstroke, and Raven. If you're interested in checking out the breakthrough cycle for yourself, we have a link in the description that goes to a Reddit thread from Devlin16, where he's outlined the entire breakthrough cycle.
Right.
This isn't the first week of the month, so we're not going to go through the glitches. If you want to go through a more in-depth description of all the glitches, you can go check out the first recap of this month. The important part is that the Challenge Reset glitch and the Phantom Zone glitch, which are the same technique to reset both, are tested and working.
On this week's Blackest Night Martian Manhunter challenge.
Yeah, and you can always access the full instructions to do all the glitches without having to listen to this video at all, just by checking out the link in the eye in the top right corner, or checking out the playlist on our playlist tab of all the current glitches, which is the best place to see everything that we believe and have checked is still working.
So I think the probably the 2 most important things, sort of the conditions this week, is not only, like you mentioned, it's not the first week of the month, and there hasn't been anything new.
Yeah.
Which is why we're not going to go into a bunch of detail.
That's true.
Yeah.
So there we go. And that is it for this week. To finish up, we'd like to give a huge, huge thank you to all the lovely folks who take the time and effort and money to support us on Patreon.
And that would be BomboBen, Console Peasant, and Edwoon at the top tier last word, Sinemac and Mohammed Albshaiti at the Your Message Here tier, Shawn Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Maule, Michael DeVries, Brandon C., Irvin ruiz, Eddydoo, and Hoshi127 at the credited level, and Chris Wolff, Scarlet, Dani, Awesomegamer241, Pavu RS, Gavin, Mallott, and Isfar E at the gratitude level.
Thank you so much for your support, and thanks so much to all of you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Komoda.